'Twas the night before Groose Day, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a PlayStation disc. But you know what we got yesterday? All we got was the announcement that Mario Kart Tour is shutting down.
And that's some bull crap. Oh boy. Yeah. When Mario Kart Tour was announced to be ending service, I felt numb at first because it's a fate I expected because it's happened to most of Nintendo's mobile games. But at the very least with this one, I expected some decency with Nintendo just finally ending the game.
Yeah.
But no.
I was hoping
this sucks.
I was hoping they would at least have an offline complete version of the game that you could purchase or carry over your data to continue playing the game. But they said they aren't doing that or have no plans to release something like that. So essentially, once this game shuts down on September 29th, it's going to be practically lost media, which is just really unfortunate, honestly. I know Mario Kart Tour isn't the best Mario Kart game. It's not perfect, but I would say it was a pretty solid Nintendo mobile game. I actually, once they fixed a lot of its issues, like being able to play it in landscape and removing the gacha elements, and just refining the game overall and even adding battle mode and proper online, it was actually a decently fun Mario Kart game. I had a lot of fun with it. I tried to unlock a lot of the rare outfits and rare characters and things. I saved up rubies. I don't even think I really spent any money on it. I just kind of grinded a lot, but I really enjoyed this game. I would say it was a solid little mobile game experience. So the fact that it's shutting down is just pretty unfortunate. I wish there was some way to preserve this content, because in reality, there isn't really much that is being done. Sure, there's the booster course pass in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I wouldn't really say that having the tour tracks is really preserving it. One, it's a completely different game with a completely different gameplay style. You don't have all of those outfits, characters, and carts. And it's also not every track in Tour, because not only do you have Piranha Plant Pipeline, but you also have the RMX variants, as well as the T variants. There are tons of different variants. So all of those will be lost, which is just pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. There's no other way of putting it. With Mario Kart Tour, we have Mario Kart World now. And for a while, Mario Kart Tour was the closest thing we had to a proper Mario Kart 9. In fact, I remember when a lot of people were like, but Mario Kart Tour is Mario Kart 9! The numbering doesn't really matter, the name doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that it was a mobile game and not a full-on new Mario Kart game. And I played Mario Kart Tour even before it released because I was unlucky enough to play the beta, and it was not good at first. Mario Kart Tour had a lot of problems with greed, microtransactions, the loot boxes. It was really bad, but in the beta there was also a cooldown timer. That would have made Mario Kart Tour a whole lot worse. It'd have all the pitfalls of mobile games.
Yeah.
When it launched, it was pitiful. It didn't even have multiplayer, and it was only vertical, as you said.
Yeah.
But then as the game got updated over time, it did get better, and the final product we got was actually a pretty good Mario Kart game.
Oh yeah, the funny thing is, back at launch, I remember, I was playing it around that time. I remember, you couldn't even, Mario wasn't even unlocked by default, which I thought was kind of crazy. It's the one Mario Kart game that, Mario isn't, available from the start, or I think it's, random who you get at first, but it's since they put so much effort into actually fixing it and making it, a fairly good Mario Kart experience, it's just pretty unfortunate that they're just tearing all of that down now without even providing the option for people to play it. Because if they did provide an option, which I don't even think would be that hard for them, all of the content and the data is there, all of the characters and tracks, all they'd have to do is compile that into a complete version and then sell that on the App Store or Google Play Store for $20, $25. I feel like a decent amount of people probably would have bought it. Like, it's still, like,
I would have bought it.
Yeah, I don't think, like, it would have done that well, but, like, I feel like at least the people who were actively playing Mario Kart Tour would have bought something like this, kind of similar to how Animal Crossing with, Pocket Camp, that got, like, a complete version after that game's server shut down. Like, why couldn't we have gotten that with Mario Kart Tour? It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Maybe Nintendo's right about Mario Kart World sales. They're so bad that they shut down Mario Kart Tour because of it. And another thing about Mario Kart Tour, it got an update last year that added carts from Mario Kart World to promote the game. And now they're just shutting it down? I can understand why, because there are servers to run. And for whatever reason, Nintendo thought, oh, it would be a great idea to have a mobile game, which you'll often play somewhere like an airplane, which sometimes won't have a Wi-Fi connection. Let's make all of our games require an online connection. And now, look at the consequences of that.
Yeah.
All their mobile games are dead. Every single one of them, for the most part.
Yeah.
And the only one with a solution is Animal Crossing. I don't understand why they offered it for Animal Crossing. Like, I could understand, like, oh, maybe they finally learned their lesson. But they don't do it for Mario Kart Tour? Here's the thing about Mario Kart Tour. Going back and playing it, I don't think I would do it very often. But it's part of the series' history. If you really get into the Mario Kart series and want to experience every game, you can no longer do that. Even with the arcade games, you were able to play them on a modded Wii. Or the arcade machines, they weren't that hard to find. But now, there's pretty much no solution. And sure, people could argue a lot of the things from Mario Kart Tour were brought over into Mario Kart World. Things like the costumes, stuff like that. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the Booster Course Pass. But look at it this way. It's like if Nintendo removed Super Mario Kart out of existence, but there was still Super Circuit that had all the Super Mario Kart tracks.
It wouldn't be the same. Yeah. And I feel like this really reveals, like, the whole issue with, like, game preservation. I feel like that's why it's important. Like, even if the game wasn't amazing, like, Mario Kart Tour isn't really the best Mario Kart game, far from it, but I still think it's important to have that experience so future generations can experience it, and it's, like, preserved in, like, the series history. Like, I think it's good to have, like, every game available so people can go back to it at some point. I think that's a huge problem with the mobile game industry. It's game preservation in that part of the industry is just really, really bad. It's like, I mean, sure, there are, like, a decent amount of things being preserved, like Flappy Bird, which was shut down just, like, a couple days after that, like, dropped. I'm sure most of you have heard that story, but, like, some things can be preserved, but then other things are mostly tied to servers, and a lot of it is lost. I feel like probably most of the mobile game history over the past 15-ish years is, like, inaccessible, I would say. Like, if you want to play, like, most of the older Angry Birds games, like, they're just not available. It's really unfortunate. I feel like a lot of people have wanted to go back to these older mobile games to experience, like, things from their childhood, but they just can't, because they're either shut down or just not available anymore. And I think that is just, like, devastating for, like, game preservation, honestly. It's like, it just creates more and more lost media, and it's definitely why, like, the live service model is just so bad, I would say. It's like, there's so much history and so much work that is going into these games. Like, the effort that the developers put into these games is just lost. It's like they're developing all of this for nothing.
It's just... Here's the thing with online and gaming. It was the best and worst thing to happen. It allowed a lot of people to communicate, and it's made many friendships, and it's great to be able to play games online. But then, you have companies take advantage of it. They can literally just have games tied to a server and then shut them down. They can also do things like have consoles without discs. This has been a pretty bad time in terms of gaming news and what's going on. And in terms of, like, the PS6 and the whole thing about digital media, now you're seeing the effects of it. You can see that a game like Mario Kart Tour, just wiped out in an instant because Nintendo felt like it. There's advocacy for physical media, and it's cliche, but as Scott the Woz once said, it's cliche and cheesy because everyone says it because there's truth to it. The thing with physical games, it's just, you have something tangible, and you can always play it. You can't take away the copy of Mario Kart World, but it's just so unfortunate that Nintendo isn't offering any solutions, and I don't even want to know how the developers feel, knowing that all their hard work went to waste, like you were saying.
Yeah, and with, like...
And more, this is something that deserves backlash, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mario Kart Tour isn't a great game to a lot of people, and even if it's not great, it still sucks, and it's happened so many times, because we're kind of numb to it by now.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, it's like, a lot of people, it's just... Like, I can understand that this is just another mobile game shutting down, but I feel like the fact that we're seeing all these substantial mobile games shutting down should ring some alarm bells that this model of, like, live service games and just keeping games on, like, a server is not exactly a great model, I would say. Like, and I'm not saying that, like, live service games or games that have a lot of online elements and components to them can't exist, but they should at the very least offer some kind of offline mode. Like, one example of this is with Tetris 99, which is also technically a live service game. That at least allows you the option to buy an offline mode and, like, practice with CPUs, but with that, like, it gives you, like, a way to experience that game and experience that gameplay, like, without those servers. So when Tetris 99 eventually shuts down, you'll still be able to play it in some form. I feel like that's how most live service games should be. Like, they should have some kind of offline component to them. Like, even if you have to pay for that offline component, I still think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's just for people who want the option. What's the problem if they offer an offline version that you have to pay for? Oh, it's too expensive, I'm not gonna buy it. Versus the other problem of, oh, I can't buy this even if I wanted to.
And you know, unironically, I would say the, like, Nintendo's decision, or I guess, like, any company making mobile games, like, any decision that, like, of, like, shutting down a mobile game, or, like, shutting down a game like Mario Kart Tour, I think that's unironically a worse decision than Nintendo charging $80 for Mario Kart World. Because at the very least, with Mario Kart World, you'll always be able to experience it, since, like, it has a physical version, it's, like, playable offline, obviously, but when you shut down these mobile games, they're just no longer accessible. It's basically lost media at that point. So I feel like this decision with Nintendo shutting down Mario Kart Tour, I honestly think that's worse.
I think it is too. Because with Mario Kart World being $80, yeah, it reeks. And people still won't stop talking about it. But the thing is, there are ways around it. You can get it used. It's just like with this, it's one of the few problems that doesn't have a solution. Usually what I'd say is every problem has a solution except death. But now to that, I'm going to add every problem has a solution except death and playing Nintendo's mobile games once the servers shut down. And I know we're talking about servers a lot, but these weren't really multiplayer games. These were single-player games that had an arbitrary requirement for them to be online to prevent piracy. And as we all know, whenever Nintendo tries to prevent piracy, such as using mini DVDs for the GameCube or cartridges for the Nintendo 64, man, does it go well for them. Every freaking time. This
isn't Nintendo, but I think that's also what GTA 6 is doing. I think that's why that's not on the disc. So, like, I feel like it's a running trend of, like, trying to prevent, like, piracy and people leaking games out early is, like, not... it doesn't always work out well for the consumer. But another thing...
Yeah, but GTA 6, there's nothing to pirate if I just don't play the slop.
Yeah. But another thing that I wanted to mention is that Nintendo actually has another mobile game that they released recently, and this was in collaboration with Intelligent Systems, actually by the WarioWare team, called Picto Nico. And the interesting thing about this game is that it's fully playable offline. It doesn't even have an online component to it. I think the only thing that it does is like connect to your phone to like get the photos off of your phone. There's like no online component to it. It's like basically will be playable forever as long as the device supports it. So it likely will be able to be preserved. And the interesting thing about that is that this is like one of the few mobile games that Nintendo didn't like work with DNA. Because DNA is like the mobile game company that Nintendo usually works with. It's either DNA or Cygames. I think it was Dragalia Lost that was partially developed by Cygames. But with DNA, it just seems like the model that they have usually ends up leading to the game's like ending service eventually and becoming inaccessible, with the only exception being Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. It's just like you can like clearly see that this is like something kind of rooted in the mobile game industry, not even like just like a Nintendo thing. Of course, we still are blaming Nintendo for it because this is a game that was published by Nintendo and Nintendo was pushing, but at the same time, it's also pressure from the mobile game industry as well with like DNA. I think the fact that Nintendo was working with DNA in the first place was kind of a mistake, because I feel like they've had that model with games before, that like unsustainable model of like developing a game, putting so much effort and resources into it only to shut it down. I feel like companies like DNA kind of seem like the root of the problem here. So I'm hoping that like with Picto Nico not being developed by or co-developed by DNA, like I'm hoping that we won't really see games that are like requiring online or shutting down like that much anymore.
Yeah. It's good that one, it's seemingly being able to be preserved because it doesn't require an online connection. But let's see, when it comes to Nintendo's mobile venture, they started it after the Wii U. They were literally trying everything, seeing what worked, just in case the Switch failed, which we all know it did not, regardless of what a lot of YouTube wants you to believe with the Switch 2 and stuff. Anyways,
I think
all their mobile games, they've never really taken off because they just don't understand the mobile audience, but will still do like the worst things in mobile games. Like Mario Kart Tour. How do you not launch that with multiplayer? Super Mario Run, I feel like, was an anomaly because, honestly, other than the always online requirement, nothing wrong with the game. They charged a fair price for it. You could decide whether to get it or not. They maybe needed a little more to get consumers enticed, but overall, they tried to do the right thing, and the right thing was met with ridicule. So then their mobile games afterwards started to lean into loot boxes. Mario Kart Tour was one of the worst examples of that. And even towards the end, it's just like these mobile games only served one purpose, to market Nintendo's other games, and they did a good job for that. But I'm kind of glad they didn't take off, because look what happened when Pokemon Go took off. I feel like that was part of the decline of the Pokemon series. So Nintendo's mobile games not taking off, really just a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it's like I feel like...
That being said, though, they shouldn't be removed from existence because they were still really fun games for the most part.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, even though they do have a lot of issues behind them, it's still, I feel like the games themselves, if you remove some of the crap from them, like the gacha elements and the like microtransactions and things like that, like they're actually pretty solid games. Like I like Mario Run. Well, I mean, I know that didn't have that, like it didn't really have those elements in it, but it was a pretty fun game for what it was. Mario Kart Tour also pretty fun once they fixed the issues. Like I even played a little bit of Fire Emblem Heroes, and even though I didn't really get into it, like it seems like a solid game for Fire Emblem fans because it has like a lot of content and fan service and different things like that. So, and then Dr. Mario World, like I thought that game was pretty fun as well. Like if that was like released as like a Mario Run-esque thing, like where you just pay for it outright and you get access to all of the content, I think that game would have been great. Like it's really unfortunate that it's like basically lost media now. So I feel like these games do deserve to be preserved.
With Dr. Mario World, I have plushies of the viruses, and there's Dr. Mario World branding on it, but I can't play the game. That is insanity. And it's such a shame, too, because Dr. Mario World had so many different doctors, it was absurd. The gameplay was also pretty fun, too. It did deviate from the traditional Dr. Mario gameplay, but for what it was, I thought it was really fun. I love match 3 puzzle games like Bejeweled and stuff like that. Zuma's Revenge.
Yeah.
But just to take them down, it's not a good thing. And I feel like more Nintendo fans need to call them out for this.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's no better than what other companies are doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But let me ask you this. When it comes to playing games, regardless of Mario Kart Tour is good or bad, after September, you won't be able to play it. With Kablooey or Charlie Blues territory, if you think it's bad, you can just not play it. But for the rest of us, let's enjoy Kablooey! We own the cartridges, we own physical copies of Charlie Blast Territory and Kablooey, and those are with us to our freaking grave!
Yeah, it's
this
like...
game is just getting a grave itself.
I could always just pull Kablooey off of my shelf and just play it anytime I want to. It's just like, I love being able to do that with physical games. And you know, the thing is, like with mobile games, obviously they aren't physical, but I still think there's like a connection here, because I feel like with physical games, even though like, it's like we usually associate that with ownership, I think like pushing for physical games to be like preserved, or like for companies to continue to make physical games, I feel like that helps like the entire like industry in terms of like both physical and digital, because I feel like pushing for like physical games to remain and like game preservation, I feel like that can help with digital preservation as well. Like we could push for companies giving more options for those digital games, because sometimes games are only digital with indie games and of course mobile games as well. So I feel like there should be at least like more of a measure to help us like actually keep those digital games and not have them as a license. So I feel like pushing for physical games will also in turn help like the digital games have more of a like ownership element to them, like you actually being able to like download it and not worry about like a license blocking you from playing it. So I think that's definitely important too. But I think that's most of what we have to say about this. It's just a really unfortunate situation, and I really hope more people talk about this. I really hope there's more outrage and scrutiny behind this decision, because like, yeah, even though it's a regular thing that happens, that doesn't mean it's good. This is still a terrible thing that a game is becoming lost media. Like, I care a lot about media preservation, like, with games and just other things as well. Like we were mentioning before, so like future generations, or like our generation when we're older, can go back and experience that. Like, I was one of the people who was trying to find the Paper Mario E3 2010 trailer, so even something as insignificant as that, it's like, I still think it's important to find those little bits of media and information. So, like, that's why it sucks that this is shutting down. But do you have any final thoughts, Demeech?
Well, a few actually. If you hear my cat in the background, she heard me mention playing Charlie Blues territory. So, yeah, that's why she's here. But in terms of Mario Kart Tour, digital games, and just the preservation, here's the thing about digital storefronts. All of the DSiWare games, WiiWare games, 3DS and Wii U eShop games, those have been preserved, and if they're like a digital game on a system, it's very likely that they'll be able to be preserved, and we shouldn't have to really worry about that. It's when things are back to servers, that's where you really can't do anything. So, I wouldn't worry about, like, the Switch eShop going down, and some of the digital-only games, like, let's just say Kirby's Dream Buffet being lost media. That's not gonna happen. There will be ways to still play those games. But this is just so unfortunate, and let Nintendo know that you have fury!
Oh yeah, but anyways, we're not just going to be playing Kablooey in Charlie Blast territory, but we're going to be getting back to playing Rhythm Heaven Groove, which is an absolutely incredible game that I have physically, and it is peak. like everyone, play Rhythm Heaven Groove, and Rhythm Heaven Groove for Game of the Year! But, anyways...
Yes. Rhythm Heaven Groove for Game of the Year!
Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to go subscribe to Demeech, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!
And keep calm and da-da on.